Okay, so picture this. You decide to launch a car company right in the middle of a massive industry recession, and somehow you become a top 5 player in just 6 years. Now, that's not some business school hypothetical. It's the actual incredible story of Kia in India. And what they've pulled off, it's way more than just selling cars. It is a straight-up masterclass in how to disrupt a market.
So that's the big question, right? The Indian auto market is notoriously tough. I mean, it's dominated by these giants who've been there for decades. So how did a total newcomer not just survive, but absolutely crush it? Well, let's crack open their playbook and see exactly how they did it.
To really get the scale of what they did, let's start with just one number. As of mid-2025, Kia holds about 7% of India's entire passenger car market. Now, that might not sound like a huge number, but trust me, to go from absolute zero to a top 5 contender in this market, it's pretty much unheard of.
And the timeline, that's what's really mind-blowing here. This wasn't some slow 30-year grind. They pulled this off in just 6 short years, launching their very first car, the Seltos, all the way back in 2019.
But here's the real kicker, the thing that makes this story just incredible. They didn't do this with a booming economy at their back. Nope, they launched smack dab in the middle of a major industry slowdown. So against all the odds, they didn't just grow, they basically exploded onto the scene.
So, how on earth did they do it? Well, it definitely wasn't luck. It was a super smart, carefully planned strategy. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to deconstruct Kia's winning game piece by piece and treat it like the strategic playbook it really is.
Their approach was actually brilliantly simple, broken down into 4 key plays. First up, the product offensive, getting the actual cars perfectly right for the market. That was followed by a really unique value proposition that just hit that perfect price-to-features sweet spot. Then came their secret weapon, the digital blitz. And finally, we'll check out the final score, the absolutely stunning results of all this work.
All right, let's dive into play number 1, the product offensive. See, this was never about just taking cars they sold elsewhere and plopping them into the Indian market. No way. This was about designing and selling an aspiration, one that was custom-made for the modern Indian buyer.
Their product lineup was laser-focused. For the young, urban crowd, you had the Sonnet and Seltos, SUVs that were totally packed with the latest features. For modern families, they brought in the spacious Karens and Carnival, and they even had an eye on the future with premium EVs. But the secret ingredient, the real game changer, up to 95% localization. That let them pack in all those features while keeping the price competitive.
And man, you can see just how well this strategy worked. Just look at the numbers. The Sonnet and Seltos, those 2 SUVs alone, make up over 70% of their sales. They totally nailed it. They understood that the new Indian buyer wanted a bold, tech-heavy SUV, and they delivered. Big time.
All right, on to the next play, the value proposition. Look, having a great car is one thing, but if you don't price it and position it right, you're toast. Kia's real stroke of genius was this. They made premium feel totally achievable for the aspiring middle class.
And they walk this tightrope perfectly. So on one side, you get all this premium stuff, these bold, badass designs, tons of advanced tech, top-tier safety ratings. But on the other side, they made it affordable with smart pricing and easy financing. And here's a really, really smart move. They almost never did big discounts. Why? Because that protects the brand's premium feel and, super important for you as a buyer, it protects the car's resale value.
But accessible didn't just mean the price tag. It also meant you could actually find them. Think about it. In just a couple of years, they popped up with 744 touchpoints, all across hundreds of cities. They made sure that no matter where you were, a Kia showroom wasn't too far away.
Okay, now we get to what might be the most important part of their playbook, the digital blitz. Kia just got it. They knew you couldn't reach the next generation of car buyers with old-school newspaper ads or boring TV commercials. You had to meet them where they were, online. You had to speak their language.
So, how'd they get so precise with their targeting? Well, they used a classic marketing framework called STP. It sounds fancy, but it's actually super simple. It's about asking 3 basic questions. First, segmentation. Who are all the different customers out there? Second, targeting. Okay, out of all those groups, who are we really going after? And third, positioning. What's the one message that's going to win them over? And this is who they zeroed in on. Their main target, urban millennials and Gen Z. Folks in that 25 to 35 age range. And their whole message, movement that inspires, was crafted to be everything the old, stuffy car brands weren't.
Bold, fresh, and all about the tech. And they didn't just talk the talk. They put their money where their mouth was. Their ad budget looked totally different from every other car company. A whopping 60% of it went straight into digital. They basically took the old marketing rulebook and just threw it out the window.
And you can actually watch their strategy get smarter over time. In 2019, it was all about just getting the name out there. Then came the big viral hits like that #SonnetTheBeast campaign. And by 2025, they were using these super smart AI-powered ads to connect what you see online directly to a test drive in the real world.
And the results? Just wow. That #SonnetTheBeast campaign, it wasn't just an ad, it was a viral phenomenon. We're talking 12 million views, and people were watching for an average of 2 minutes. Think about that. They got young people to willingly watch a car ad for 2 whole minutes. Nobody had ever done that before.
And this is the really clever part, how they connected the dots. They'd run these ads on smart TVs and streaming services, right? And they just pop a QR code on the screen. All you had to do was point your phone at it, scan the code, and boom, you could book a test drive right then and there. It was a brilliant, frictionless way to turn a viewer into a potential customer.
So, the big question, did it actually work? Oh yeah, big time. Just that one innovative campaign, that one simple idea, led to a 25% jump in actual, real-world sales. It was clear, undeniable proof that their digital-first bet was paying off in a huge way.
So you add all these plays together, and what's the final score on the board? Let's look at the hard numbers that show how Kia went from a complete nobody to a top 5 heavyweight in the Indian auto scene.
I mean, the numbers really do speak for themselves. Market share went from 0 to 7%. India now accounts for nearly 9% of Kia's entire global business. And they're not slowing down, not at all. They've got huge growth targets and a massive push into electric vehicles coming up.
So if there's one single thing to take away from all of this, it has to be this. Kia's success wasn't just about the metal, the engines, and the wheels. They went deeper. They tapped into the mindset of the new Indian buyer. They sold an identity, one that was bold, tech-savvy, and felt premium without being out of reach. In short, they didn't just sell a car, they sold an aspiration.
Which kind of leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? When you put it all together, the perfect products, that smart value proposition, and that killer digital game, has Kia basically written the new rulebook for how to crash the party in any tough established market? It's definitely something to chew on.